brilliant. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's so lovely to be talking today, and thank you so much for agreeing to chat as well. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Love to talk to anyone who's interested.
Oh no, it's amazing. It's so cool what you're doing. So the first thing I wanted to ask really is, what's the origins of Not Your Muse Theatre Company? Where did it begin and how?
Well, basically, I've known, I don't know if you've seen the website. So there's the three of us, and I've known Zoe for years, and Zoe's known Ellie for years, and I've known Zoe and Ellie for, as a group. And we've sort of done various projects, and we found that we've done so much stuff over the years that you just don't get credited for, bailing out theatre-wise, that generally, and it's not a sexist statement because in our experience it's true, it's generally men that are doing that thing. So, you're helping out with rewrites of plays, you're troubleshooting safeguarding issues, you're everything, and you don't get credited for it. And also, we kind of know what we're doing, and we've been saying for quite a while, like between us in different conversations, we should just do our own thing, because like basically we know what we're doing, why don't we? And then Zoe and Ellie were involved in Happenings, which is the new play by Joan Berry that we're bringing to Brighton Fringe. And I went to see it in London. They had it at the Red Line just as everything was coming out of COVID and the coronavirus restrictions. Sorry, there's a dog barking in the background.
No worries.
And and I sort of basically sort of pitched up because the show hadn't had enough like promo, basically. I think I'm not quite sure what happened on the production side, and then we sort of went, well, we could do this better, and we were offered it, so we went, maybe this is the time, this is our time. And we had so many other ideas of things we wanted to do with new female writers and mentoring people, like yourself, that coming out of graduates, and people uber talented people just like you, who people don't always take seriously because of your age. So we felt that, do you know what, we're going to do it. And it's kind of snowballed. It went from within about 2 weeks of us kind of saying, we're going to do this, to suddenly it was all happening. And then we had a play, and we were like booking venues and having all this stuff going on. So yeah, it's been a real snowball effect. And we found so many women have contacted us that we don't know, and have said, we're so glad you're doing this. This is what we need. How can we get involved? So that's kind of where we are.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's so exciting. So do you feel that there is sort of enough representation of women in the arts industry, or do you think that's something that could continue to be worked on?
No, definitely not, particularly with the sort of production side of it. I mean, and a good example is we're obviously pitching to different theatres and stuff like that you have to do with your productions. Every single pitch we do is to a man. Every person that we've met that's making the decision as to what goes on and what doesn't go on, in our experience, has been a man. So there aren't, there probably are lots of women out there, but in our sort of smattering, in our experience, it's always a man. So there aren't any women doing that. And in production in general, it tends to be men. And new playwriting, you see things advertised, new play by. A lot of the time, it's a man. There are female playwrights out there, amazing. So we kind of want, it's our mission to address the balance, really.
That's really exciting. It's really good. So would you say that Not Your Muse, it's sort of set apart from other theatre companies because of its inclusion and because of its representation of women?
Definitely. And also we're collaborative, because we have found, over the years of doing things, that people tend to get quite insular, and they always work with the same people. And, if you're not in the little clique, it's the same with a lot of things, isn't it? If you're not in the clique, you can't get involved. But we're not like that at all. We love to collaborate with new things and new people. And also we're experimental. We're really pushing the new writing. That's our thing, is new writing. Because a lot of production companies, well, not a lot, but there are production companies out there that just do historical plays or things that have already been done, and that's great. But our thing is new writing, ideally female writing. Ironically, our first play out there is by a man, but we know him personally, so we'll let him off. But then Ellie and Zoe have written additional material on it. So that's the thing as well, that in the past, me also, you've written additional material on things. you don't get a credit. So this is part of our thing. If you do something with us, we will credit you.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's amazing.
I think I've answered your question. I've
No,
rambled
absolutely.
on a bit.
No, you really have. That's great. So you've got Happenings. That's your show coming to the Fringe in Brighton.
Yes.
So what's the plot of that? What's the sort of main summary?
Okay, so basically it is about the unfilled aspirations and monotonous existence of 330-somethings.
Okay.
It's a pitch black comedy which looks at issues of mental health. Each character in it has an issue with mental health, whether it's obvious or not to start with, because that's what it's like in life, isn't it? For some people, everyone, mental health is a thing. Everyone's mental health has peaks and troughs over life, and it sort of explores that and the dynamic between the three people. There is a fourth person in the play, but not kind of about him. So it's about and it's a pitch black comedy, and also one of the characters is a neurodiverse character, which we feel then not necessarily represented in writing. And it's just about the dynamic of how they get on and their own how they get through their existence. And also it's the whole thing of, particularly for the character Jane, she's at this point in her life where she feels nothing's happened to her, and she sees everyone on social media, because that's how it's pitched on social media. Oh, everyone's having a better time than you. Everyone looks better than you. Everyone's got a better this and better that. Everything's got something's going on.
Absolutely.
But it's the concept of, what is life if not about, clicks and likes? Is anything really happening to you? And what are you willing to actually do to feel like something's happening in your life? How far are you willing to go?
Absolutely. No, it sounds brilliant. It sounds amazing. I think it's something a lot of people can resonate with as well. I think so many people, you go on social media, you don't even realise the fact that you're consuming so much different. I mean, especially if you go on sort of like Instagram, you're scrolling and seeing different people with different lives, and no one's going to upload sort of the low lights. It's all going to be highlights and everything that they want you to see. And you can say you don't get sucked into it, but I think we all do to a degree. So
definitely. I mean, I definitely do. Yeah, I definitely do. And I even though you try and consciously make a decision to not be influenced by it, even people that that you're friends with, the stuff they post, you're like, oh yeah, she always looks great online, doesn't she?
Exactly.
I'm not posting my photo. That kind of thing. And it links with that, and the reality versus the non-reality of social media. It's a filter on life, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's so true.
It's not a mirror. It's a distorted mirror of life that people, it's not good for people.
No, exactly. I don't think it is either. It can be really unhealthy. But how would you say you would want people to leave feeling after seeing Happenings?
Well, have found, because obviously this has already played in different venues before we've produced it, we've found that a lot of the feedback we get is that it starts a conversation, that people, they find they can talk about things to do with those, particularly the mental health elements of it, that maybe, because you've seen the play, you can kind of relate to it, and then it makes it, more approachable. We had, I think you might have seen our little video thing that we made, but there was feedback that one woman, she'd brought her, obviously it's not necessarily for every teenager to younger teenager to watch, but she brought her 14-year-old daughter, and she's used to theatre and stuff, and she said that on their journey on the way home, her daughter actually revealed to her that she was having some quite serious issues going on, but she probably wouldn't have done that. It was on the back of the play.
Absolutely.
And it touches people in different ways, but that I feel is like what we want, obviously, to be entertained. You're entertained when you're there,
of course.
And it is a pitch black comedy. There is comedy in there, as there is in all the darkest parts of your life. There's always some kind of humor to be got out of it, but it's it's for people to make people think and to start conversations, I think, from my perspective.
No, that's brilliant. No, it's amazing. I mean, that story about the girl on the train, that is incredible. And I think ultimately, I mean, I'm not a theatre writer at all, but I imagine if you were, that is sort of the best goal you can have, really, to help people, not just by entertainment, like you say, but actually being able to to help someone in that degree is amazing. That's brilliant. So
Yeah.
when is Happenings on? Where is it?
Okay, so it's Happenings is at the Walrus, because obviously I don't know, have you been to Brighton Fringe before? I guess you haven't, because it probably
I
wasn't on
haven't,
particularly
no.
last year. Yeah, so basically it's not just in all the normal theatre spaces. All these weird basements and pubs and all sorts turn over their spaces, and church halls, everything, to all the theatre coming in. So we're at the Walrus. I don't know if you know where the Walrus is in Brighton.
I don't think I do, no.
Google it. We're at the Walrus, and we've got 6 dates, but they're spread over 2 weeks. So we've got the 10th, 11th, 12th of May, and the 17th, 18th, and 19th of May. And I can send you those over as well. If you want.
Brilliant! Thank you. That'd be great.
And it's about an hour. It's a 60-minute running time on the play.
Okay.
And there's lots of other stuff going on in the venue as well.
It sounds absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for talking. It's absolutely brilliant.